Hey, I wanted to get to this next topic. Now, it's an extremely sensitive one, okay? It may not be suitable for kids, so if you've got some kids in the room, you might want to put the TV on mute for a couple of minutes or take them in another room. But we thought this was useful information to share with parents. A couple of months ago, 60 Minutes aired a story about the dangers of social media. The subject matter was called Suing Social Media, and it involved a lot of lawsuits that social media companies are being faced with. So last night, that was updated with new information about the Surgeon General's advisory on social media and youth mental health. Here, we're going to play for you a couple of clips from the episode. Now, this is from two families. Extremely difficult to hear from them. So again, if you have kids in the room, you might want to put the TV on mute. These parents thought they were doing everything right.
We had very strict rules from the moment she had the phone. The phone was never allowed in the room at night. We would keep the phone in the hall.
We checked the phone. We put restrictions on the phone.
I would wait for my parents to fall asleep, and then I would just sit in the hallway, or I would sneak my phone in my room. I wasn't allowed to use a lot of apps, and they had a lot of the parental controls on.
And so how quickly did you figure out a way around the restrictions?
Pretty quickly. It asks you, are you 13 years or older? I checked the box yes, and then just kept going.
And there was never any checks?
No, no verification or anything like that.
If I had picked up your phone, would I have seen the Instagram app on there?
No. There were apps that you could use to disguise it as another app. So you could download like a calculator, but it's really Instagram.
One August night in 2020, just a few hours after Tony and Brandy kissed their 14-year-old smiling daughter goodnight, Brandy received a text from a parent of one of England's friends who was worried about England and suggested they check on her.
We went upstairs and we checked, and her door was locked, and that was kind of odd. I took the key from the top, and we opened the door, and no England. And when I turned around, that's when I found her. When you find your child hanging, and you are in that moment in disbelief, it's just no way, not our baby, not our child. And then ultimately, I fault myself.
Why do you fault yourself?
I'm dead. Supposed to know.
Prior to that night, you had no idea that she was depressed.
Not even close.
That is so emotionally hard to hear and listen. But again, kids, for those parents there, they were involved. They did everything with their daughter. Who she was in person was not who she was online.
So what was the social media input that perhaps was connected with her suicide?
So for that family, the second one, there was a video that was circulating that was sent to her teaching her how to do it. In that method, how to do it. And for a year and a half, that video was circulating on Instagram, not flagged, not taken down. It ultimately was taken down in 2021, but for a year and a half, it was circulating online. So Instagram did nothing about that video, and their belief is that if that video was not sent to their daughter, she would still be here right now. For the other family in there, the argument against the social media was that girl was 11 years old. There was no age verification. You got to be 13. Right. That's a joke. She started laughing at it.
Right.
She was looking up, again, body image. She was looking up fitness videos. And the algorithm from the fitness videos immediately went to anorexic and eating disorders. And so she went down that role. So the algorithm from fitness was doing that. Also, you think, how many parents out there right now watching this have given their kids a phone to track them, to say, in emergency, use this phone, call me. You think you have restrictions on this phone. You don't. That girl laughed at the ability to put apps on there. And
hidden apps.
Hidden apps. And where is Apple? Where is Google? To have apps, you're talking about taking this app down or that app down. How do you allow an app on your phone that is a calculator that is really Instagram? Or ways to like hide these apps on your phone. So parents are looking at a phone and
Parents are being kept in the dark because I can tell you that when kids do either get bullied online or feel that they are getting inundated with inappropriate content. Let's take the real life example of this girl in 60 Minutes who was getting sent videos about being anorexic. You're not going to go to your parents with that because that's just not. That feels like you're letting them in on, first of all, a secret that you weren't supposed to be doing anyway, and so so parents are just being left in the dark, and I don't know what the answer is.
And on top of
more
that,
regulation. Some regulation.
Some of these YouTube videos with these that are geared towards kids. I think of it from the younger kid standpoint. And there's videos made for kids, and in the video is a messaging about something that kids should not be seeing, whether it be harming themselves or something inappropriate. And they slide right through. Whatever filter that YouTube has, they make it right through. And kids, they just click to the next video, and they are shown these things that their eyes should not see. And somehow the company just keeps it's still up.
The arguments though, and I feel like if you don't have kids, if your kids are older, if your kids are so awesome they don't do anything wrong, I feel like those kind of people will look at you and say, it's your job, be a better parent. That's just not reality. That's not reality. The kids in the algorithms are smarter. They can outsmart you. So I don't know what the answer is. I have always thought that, I am, if you watch the show at all, I'm against government interaction with a lot of things. The government has to step in here. And, if it's 16 years old to drive a car, maybe it should be 16 years old to operate social media with some serious age verification details.
Yeah, we parents cannot compete with tech. We are not going to compete with the Apples and the Googles and the YouTubes of the world. We can't do it.
We're ill-equipped to do it.
Yeah, so we need some help in protecting. The goal is to protect the kids, and really go beyond that and just make society a better place.
And the idea of self-regulation is clearly not working. I mean, we have seen that here with these companies. They don't care. They are public companies, and they care about providing profits to their shareholders.
And again, if it's up to the parents, well, do I get to decide when my kid drives a car? Do I get to decide when my kid has their first sip of alcohol? If I think my kid can drink at a graduation, well, you need some sort of regulation from the government to help parents out. It is not always just up to the parents. And I think there should be as big of you talk about keeping kids safe. I think there should be as big of an outcry for these social media companies to protect our kids as there are with many other issues that we talk about in the news media to protect our kids. It's not just this or that. This is the biggest one.
It's pervasive.
This is the biggest one.
It is in their hand at all times. They have access, and people have access to them at all times, and they have access to strangers all over the globe, getting all kinds of messages and sending out messages. So, yeah, it's an overwhelming problem, but maybe not overwhelming for maybe there are people who know how to take care of it.
As the parent who lost their daughter said, and we didn't show this in the clip, they called it the silent killer. And it truly is. And the Surgeon General with the advisory on youth mental health. It's definitely a subject matter that I think is important to share with everybody. I think we all do, because we just cannot compete with tech, as you said.
I tell you what you can start doing today at home is try having, and I get it as a mother of 3, I know it's hard, but you can start having conversations with your kids. Sometimes I share with I have a bully, an online bully, and sometimes I share some of that just to bring up the conversation, to say that it's happening and how you handle it, and those sorts of things. But try and have any conversation with your kids about putting this in perspective.
Yeah.
Tell us what you're thinking. Anything you want to talk about? It is #the9. It's heavy stuff, but it's not going away.
Yeah, and you can't bury your head in the sand and hope it's not going to happen to me.
Yeah,
No.
right.
Because we just saw a mom and dad that said that. It wouldn't happen to me,
It's a great point.
and then it happened.